out of red ink. It's our all new, revised, updated for 2020. It's called Your First 100 Affiliates, 15 Places to Find Top Affiliate Partners. I first released this back in 2015. It was I'm kind of ashamed to admit this. It was last updated in 2017. It has more than 10,000 downloads, and it has helped small business owners find and recruit hundreds of thousands of affiliates for their programs. And then just this week, we completely updated all, I think it's, I haven't counted the pages, but it's roughly 30, 31 pages. We updated it all for 2020. Now, this report will show you where to find top affiliates. You got 15 places, as it says right there, 15 places to find top affiliate partners. We've got email templates in here. I'm going to share one with you today that's here. Let's actually, this one on page, well, it's number 5, way number 5. I've got an email template on there and some other email templates in here. What not to do when recruiting so you don't make all the mistakes I made. I mean, I started this back in 2004 and screwed up more stuff than I've done right. So you get to learn from my mistakes. I've got 3 surprising but effective sources of affiliates. There's 3 of them in here that are going to absolutely blow you away. You're gonna be like, what? I never even imagined that would be a good place to find affiliates. I've got one in here, how to turn your competition into partners and how to recruit an army of product evangelists. Now you can get your copy. Your copy will be in color if your printer has red ink, unlike mine. You can get your copy at mattmcwilliams.com/first100. Now today, what I want to share with you is my 3 favorite ways. Guys, I'm excited about this. My 3 favorite ways to find affiliates. Like literally, even if you don't know anyone, you're just starting out, you're brand new in your niche, like not a soul. You have no pre-existing relationships. Maybe you've been socially distancing yourself from your entire niche for, like the whole time that you've been in. Maybe you just started. Maybe you just got into your niche and you don't know a single person. Like it's real easy. There's some stuff in here. If you're not just starting out, there's some stuff in here that they're more for people who've been around for a little while. Maybe you have some customers, you have some friends in your niche, you're in a mastermind group. We show you how to find affiliates from those ways. But today I want to focus on these 3 ways to find affiliates if you literally know anyone. Mark, Robbie, are you guys like even half as excited as I am about today? Like just like a little bit, half as excited? I don't know.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, I'm probably about 54%.
54%.
54% probably. Yeah.
Well, for those of you guys who don't know, we got Mark Sieverkop, who is our head coach in Your Affiliate Launch Coach. And we've got Robbie Miles, who is our internal like jack of 8,000 trades. He's in charge of so much stuff. It's not even funny anymore. Actually, it's still kind of comical, but yeah. And Robbie actually was one of our very first, I think you were one of our first like 8 students back in the day, which kind of shows you, how things, can go over time. So guys, I'm excited about this. I'm excited about this report. Again, I'm sorry that mine's not bright red like yours will be, folks. We didn't realize until today that the printer is out of red ink. And the initial one we printed it all in yellow, and it kind of looked weird because I have plenty of yellow ink apparently. Like, what have we been printing? I don't know. Like, we've just been printing stuff in only red. Like stop signs for our kids' doors. I have no idea. So anyway, before we jump in, if you are subscribed to my messenger updates, you heard about this report first, way before anyone else, which was really cool. We let our messenger people know good like two days in advance before we let anybody else know. That's because I take care of my messenger subscribers. So messenger people, you're like the first people to hear about everything, whether it be our upcoming Facebook Live, new resources when we update, awesome reports, other cool stuff. So if you aren't already subscribed, just type FB chat. FB chat. Mark, I don't know, is that case sensitive, I wonder?
It should work either way.
Okay, so just make sure you separate the FB from the word chat. It's not all one word.
I think it'll actually work that way too. But
okay, well, it works.
Separated to be served.
As long as you have an F, a B, a C, an H, an A, and a T in sequence, it should work. Regardless, you could like capitalize every second letter, whatever, and it will get you a link to subscribe. Just type that in the comments. Also,
it's not even a link. Like it just subscribes you. Like get a message in Messenger.
Yeah. as I almost said there, all show. What does that sound? What is that from? Like Princess Bride or something? I don't know. All show. Be sure to share this live.
Mowedge.
Yeah. So be sure to share this live. If you're watching this as a replay, share this replay so your friends can get access to this information too, because we're going to share some really valuable information today. So in this report, I share 15 ways to find affiliates. Now, a lot of these are more focused on strategies that work if you've got an existing audience, if you've got customers, you've been around for a while, you know some people in your industry, maybe you've promoted some stuff as affiliates, and so you've engaged with some folks that way. But today, I really want to focus on the 3 ways. They're all from this report. You can apply these straight from this report. We're going to dive deeper than this report does, even though this is 30-ish pages long. It's still, it's only 30 pages, right? That we share in here. But you can apply these if you don't know a single person in your niche and you are literally starting from scratch. So way number 1, straight from this report here, it is actually, I believe, number 14. Let's see here. Way number 1 for today is your competitors. Your competitors. And as I say in the report, the old saying goes, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. But the thing is, and I know you guys feel the same way about this. Like, I don't look at my competitors only as competitors, and I definitely don't look at them as my enemies. What says keep your friends close and your enemies closer? That's the phrase. I think I botched that quote. If you have a healthy mindset, your competitors can be some of your best promotional partners. And I'm going to share 4 ways and kind of dive deep into those in a way that I can't in this report, but all 4 of these ways are in the book. But I want to give you some examples on this live today. And the first way is as an upsell. You can get a competitor to promote you as an upsell. So an upsell for their product. And the cool thing is these work both ways. And I'll share an example of that here in a moment. So you can promote your competition as an upsell and they can promote you as an upsell. So think of it this way. If you've got a low price product that maybe is in depth. So you've got a $200, training on guitar, and it's like general guitar. Could you offer a higher priced detailed version where it's like, this is meant to make you like your course is meant so you can play the guitar, fireside and not sound like a moron. So you can play something other than Wonderwall. Because everybody can play Wonderwall about 8 minutes after learning how to play the guitar. It's just 4 chords. It's super easy, It's just G, C, D, and E minor, people. Anyway. And when you can learn how to play that song really quickly. The same is true with what's the song? Same chord progression, exact same chord progression. If you listen to them, it's like listening to Nickelback. You can overlay the 2 songs and see that they follow the exact same chord progression. The song Collide. I don't know if you guys remember that song by Howie Day. It's the exact same rhythm and chord progression as Wonderwall by Oasis. And the same is true. What's that song? Hope You Had the Time of Your Life. I forget the actual name. Good Riddance, I think is the name of the song by Green Day. You guys know that one? Same thing. Yeah. The exact same chord progression and rhythm as those other 2 songs. Why? Because they're easy songs to play and they want them to be they sound familiar to us. So that's your product. Your product is Wonderwall and Good Riddance and Collide and also ironically Zombie by totally different genre, but Zombie by Cranberries has the exact same chord progression too. So how do we take it from that to like $1,000 course? Well, maybe that's not what you want to produce. So you sell your competitor's product. They've already spent $200 with you, and unless you have a logical next step, that's the product for them. The same is true for you. The other way, if they have a low price product and then you have a higher price product that's more in depth, they can promote you. Now the flip side to that is a downsell. So if you offer a course, say on book publishing, is the example I use in this report here. If you offer a course on book publishing, then maybe you've got a competitor. You consider them a competitor, but they offer a course on just book marketing. You kind of touch on book marketing, but they have a course that's all about book marketing, but it only sells for $200. Then it would make sense for you to promote them. The reverse would be true. They would promote your course on all of the stuff about book publishing for $997. And so the example here that I've had, a lot of success with, this ended up being a 7-figure relationship both ways, like meaning we were selling more than $1 million of their product. They were selling more than $1 million of our product. Was in the guitar niche. Actually, we had a course that sold for $147, and it was 20 lessons on general guitar. We had like 10 on like just the basics, and then like 10 each on like jazz guitar, fingerstyle guitar, electric guitar, like specific acoustic stuff, and things like that, like learning different. There's a lot of theory in there, learning song theory and all that. And then it got a little bit more specific. But in lesson, I think it was 14, we had a lesson on blues guitar. And we didn't have a blues guitar product. Now, we came out with one later as a result of this. This is one of the beauties of this. Our number one affiliate was a guy who had a $99 course on blues guitar. We were also his number one affiliate, promoting his $99 course. So what we did was at the end of lesson 14, we said, hey, if you want to take it to the next level, if you really want to learn blues guitar, go get Dan Denley's blues guitar course. Here's the link. And it was our affiliate link. We sold literally hundreds of thousands of dollars a year in his product doing that. The flip side was he said, hey, you learned blues guitar. If you want to learn more about like, all guitar, you want to learn different styles of guitar, you want to learn more about music theory and, just kind of like get the basics down, go get Learn and Master Guitar. And he would link to us. So for him, it was an upsell. Our course was more expensive. For us, it was a downsell. His course was, kind of cheaper. It was definitely cheaper, but it was more specific, which is actually what we'll talk a little bit more about in number 4, in terms of how you can work with competitors. But guys, I mean, this way, like it works in any industry. People that you view as competition, you can turn them into some of your best partners because they already have the customer base. And so far, I've shared 2 ways you can work with competitors. We're going to talk about multiple other ways 2 other ways to work with competitors and multiple other ways to find affiliates that even if you literally know no one. But I see Susie and Mark here in the comments. Let me know. Susie points out that quote was not from The Princess Bride. Thank you. I don't know what it was from. But let me know in the comments. Let me know below or wherever you're watching this. Let me know what you guys are thinking of this. Like if you're getting any ideas percolating about how you can work with your competition. The third way you can work with your competition, very simply, is if they have people on their list, and they do. We all have people on our list who never bought a thing from us. The thing is, they may not have bought from us for a lot of reasons. Maybe they just like the way we write emails, but they don't like our teaching style. That's fine. They're just on our emails to learn from us from email. Maybe they're on our email list, but they can't afford our cheapest product, which is whatever it is. In our case, it's, down to like $7, but I'm saying, maybe they can't afford our course on something, and our course is say $1,000, maybe it's because they bought everything that we have. This probably wouldn't apply to non-buyers, but there's literally nothing left to sell them, but definitely to your non-buyers, people who've never had a financial transaction from you, find something cheaper, find something that's a little bit different. Maybe it's that your starting course is one level above where they need or what they, where they're at. We've seen that work really well with going back to the guitar niche. Our course was really meant for people who were just starting out. Our people were bucket listers. There are people, they bought a guitar when they were 38, but the problem with being 38 is you probably got kids who are in middle school, maybe high school, and you don't have any time. So then the kids leave, they're now 46, 45, 44, whatever, and they've been looking at that guitar for 8 years, and they were like, okay, it's finally time to play. So they go join one of our competitors. I won't mention their name, but because we had a falling out with them much later, but they, on account of they sued us and they had no reason to. But anyway, I don't know why I would have hard feelings now. So I'm not going to give them any credit right now, but they would go to that site because that site was like $7 a month. And the problem that people were finding was that site assumed you knew how to play Wonderwall. That site assumed that you kind of knew a little bit about like music theory and a little bit about even how to hold the guitar. It didn't teach you any of that stuff. So they would take these people who were basically reporting back to them. Often they were, it kind of falls under the non-buyers category anyway. There was a membership site that I think cost $7 or $17 a month. They were refunding after like the second month. And they would say, wait a minute. You're refunding. Why are you refunding? And if they selected that this is too advanced, they'd be like, hey, go get this course. And they sold like 5 courses a day, every single day for us, just from people who were refunding on their slightly too advanced products. So think of creative ways to work with your competitors. And then lastly, and I sort of touched on this earlier, but it's a niche within a niche. So offer customers complementary products as they go through the main product. And so if you've got a course, like I talked about earlier, where you have a lesson on blues guitar, recommend a blues guitar course that goes more in depth. If you've got a course on, guys, give me an example. What are we thinking here? We're gonna make up an example on the fly here. What's a course that someone could take that might have a niche within a niche?
If you have an overall productivity course,
Mark's answers are up on the ceiling. Apparently, let me see all of my suggestions.
So, like I've done before with a productivity course where I don't have a specific time management course, so I've been able to offer an affiliate product for that because that's not one that I feel like creating just yet.
Well, and even back when you were just starting out, you did really well promoting Michael Hyatt's 5 Days to Your Best Year Ever. I mean, you make, I don't know, what, 5, 10, 15 sales a year promoting that roughly?
Yeah,
and exactly. Those are like, you didn't talk about, you might have like touched on goal setting, but you didn't have a 5-day, $200 course on goal setting. And even if you did, I don't know that when you were first starting out, Robbie, and I'm putting words in your mouth here, I don't know if you could be intellectually honest and say, it was worth somebody paying you $200 when you knew somebody who was at a different level than you at that point in life, who was like the world's best at teaching this stuff.
Exactly.
Would you agree with that? I mean, like part of it, I think it was that, you just felt like maybe you would be doing people a disservice to sell them a goal setting course when out there that was going to be better than yours, than what you could come up with at that time.
And I saved myself a ton of time. Right. Yeah. I didn't have to create the course. Instead, I just went out and was like, Michael's got an awesome course here.
Yep. So I think that's a great example when you have a course that's got a lot of sub niches in it. So maybe even going back to our famous example that we always seem to use, you've got a course and it's all about gardening, but there's so many different sub niches within, there's organic gardening, there's growing gardens in small spaces, there's, how do you grow herbs? How do you grow in northern climates, southern climates, tropical climates, dry climates, wet climates? Like there's all those different, niches that you could promote to within your niche. And so don't look at your competition just because they are literally like your direct competitors. This is not Coke or Pepsi. The best example I can think of that it's not the car world. I don't know how often does the average person buy a car? I'm just gonna throw out about once every 7 years, probably. Does that seem reasonable, guys? I don't know.
I think
unless you're my wife or my in-laws, and then it's every 2 years.
Okay, well, I would say, with us, because it depends how many adults you have in the household. If you've got a 20-year-old and 2 of you might buy a car every 3 years, and that would make logical sense. But I would imagine that the average household buys a new car probably every 4 or 5 years between, a spouse and between a husband and a wife and possibly an older kid, about once every 4 or 5 years. So when you're going to buy a car, it is cutthroat. It is cutthroat between Toyota, Honda, Hyundai, Acura, Lexus, Mercedes, Volvo, Volkswagen, whoever. It is like cutthroat. Who is going to get that business? there are a finite number of people in a given year that are going to buy a pickup truck. There are a finite number of people in a given year that are going to buy a crossover SUV or a large SUV or an electric sedan. I mean, like it's a very, I don't know, 1 million people are going to buy a pickup in a given year is my guess. And so if 1 million people if that's the only number of people that are going to buy that car, and it's going to be 5 years before they buy one. Toyota doesn't work with Nissan. Actually, they do on some stuff. It's ironically I found, but they don't tend to work together. And Toyota doesn't say, well, hey, you bought a Nissan this year. Would you like to buy a Toyota next year? That would make no logical sense, right? Because that's a cutthroat business. Most of us in the online space, digital courses, even physical products, we're not that cutthroat. Even like Mark, I think, to like the soccer niche. If somebody makes a specific thing, they make, a couple of specific products in the soccer niche. There's a lot of stuff they don't make and they're not going to make. Most companies that make like soccer, like specific, soccer training stuff don't make shoes.
Right.
They don't make the shoes, even though they're in the same niche. They're in the soccer niche, and you might consider that they're competitors. If you have a small view of things, you say, well, they're only going to spend $400 a year on soccer stuff, and we need to get all $400. I think if they buy your stuff, there's still room for them to buy, I don't know, cleats.
Shin guards.
Most of the shoemakers, the major shoemakers also make things like shin guards and socks, but most of them don't make, training like most of them don't make like, what are those, the goalie balls, the ones that are like oblong and they bounce funny.
Mm-hmm.
They don't make those. Most of them don't make the training balls that have the chips inside of them. Most of them don't make what is that thing that our daughter has, the star thing where it like attaches to them and they can kick it and it comes right back to them. That's made by a company that outside of that product I've never even heard of. It's not made by Adidas. It's not made by, Miter. Is it Miter? How's it pronounced? I actually never asked.
I don't know. Nobody really uses them anymore.
I just bought a Miter soccer ball the other day because it.
Oh, so you're the one.
Yeah,
you're keeping them in business.
It's a cool looking ball, and Giovanni liked it. So, anyway. So yeah, guys, just don't rule out your competitors. So that's number 14 from.
So can I
go ahead, Mark?
Can I share something with that too, Matt? I actually had a conversation with one of our affiliates yesterday, and I haven't even told you about this, Matt. Where it was kind of the same thing. They were like, well,
I don't know if I find out these things on. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, by the way, live. But we were having this conversation. They said, well, I kind of do some of the same stuff, so I don't really want to promote that stuff that you have. And I said, well, what about the people that have been on your list for a while that haven't bought anything? Or what about people that are about to unsubscribe? Or, it's like there's all sorts of people, like you said. And I think that's, and when I mentioned that, they're like, oh yeah, that's a really good point. I hadn't thought about that. There is a certain number of, once somebody's been on your list, a certain amount of time, they probably aren't going to buy something from you.
Yeah.
Or the likelihood is much smaller. So you might as well offer them some other stuff. You might as well say, hey, well, maybe you like this. And so it really is another way to, it's not only another way to make money and to be an affiliate, but it's also another way to serve your audience. You're serving your audience by giving them an opportunity. And if you're recruiting affiliates, you're serving their audience and them by giving them that idea and saying, hey, this is a way that you could promote us and serve your audience in a way that you can't right now, or maybe you wouldn't be able to otherwise. And I think that's a key component of it as well.
Yeah. And one thing I touched on, but really didn't go deep into, was I mentioned that blues guitar example. Fast forward about 2 years after promoting, actually about 3 years after promoting that, we actually released our own blues guitar course. Same price point, in a little bit more in depth than the other one, not much, but enough, but taught by the same instructor from our course, Steve Krenz. And now instead of, making that person, $200,000-$300,000, we actually made it all for ourselves. But you learn what other products your audience will pay for. If we had promoted that blues guitar course and we made $30,000 a year from it, man, we would have never created that course. It wouldn't have been worth it for even if we made twice as much with our own course, it wouldn't have been worth like these courses that we were creating cost about $100,000 to $150,000. Plus we have to pay royalties to to some people that are involved with it. So right there, we're, about 20% of everything's going out the window. It wouldn't have been worth it to create it for even $60,000 or $70,000 a year, probably not even $100,000 a year. But once we knew that we could we guessed that if we were making, because we did 50-50 commission. So if we were making 200,000, that meant that we were selling 400,000, and we assumed we'd sell about 10 or 20% more. So about $500,000, because it would be our own course. And we could put it in, be a little bit easier to create a funnel for it and stuff. We learned that by promoting that. So you learn what other products your audience will be interested in. And, and so will they, of course. But again, you get that hit. So that's just a reason to promote other people. But promoting them will cause them to want to promote you. So again, you can get the report, get what I just talked about there about competitors and the other 14 ways to find affiliates, including the 3 we're talking about today. In this free report, just go to mattmcwilliams.com/first100. Mark will drop that, or Robbie will drop that in the comments there. It's about 30 pages long of just awesome stuff about how to find affiliates. We've got templates in there for how to find them. All kinds of examples, walkthroughs, how to get over your fear of asking, if that's something you struggle with. Also, why you need an affiliate program, why you need more affiliates. It's all in this free report, your first 100 affiliates. So the second reason I want to share with you today, or the second way to find affiliates, and this works if you literally know no one in your niche. I want to find this. It is way number 5 in the free report. Looks a little funky when you run out of red ink, but watch other promotions. Watch other promotions. This has been our number one source of new quality affiliates for us over the years. We watch every affiliate promotion we can, whether it's a product launch, a book launch, an evergreen promotion, some sort of something going on, a bundle, doesn't matter. We watch these things. We watch the Facebook group where they post the leaderboards. We watch the emails. We go to the live leaderboard that a lot of people, we invented the live leaderboard as far as I know. I don't know, Mark. I don't know if we technically invented it. I think we're going to
go ahead and claim it. We're going to go
ahead and claim that we invented the live affiliate leaderboard because many years ago, I decided I was like thinking, what is the thing that drives me nuts about affiliate programs? And it's not knowing where I stand for like 48 hours at a time. And I remember telling Ray Edwards, who was a client back then, I said, hey, we put a page up in our affiliate portal for your launch. It's called the Live Leaderboard. Now, my guess is no one's going to ever visit it, but, hey, we'll see. And we put Google Analytics on the site, and I went and looked about halfway through the launch. I was like, dude, the average page in our affiliate portal has like 89 views. Like the homepage has like 300 views. That means, about 100 people had logged in an average of 3 times, roughly, or, 50 people had logged in 6 times or something like that. The homepage has, 300 views. The swipe copy page has like 104 and the FAQ page has 42. The live leaderboard page has like 1,400 views, guys, which means people are like, that's probably 14 people viewing it 100 times in the last week. That means they're refreshing the page. They're keeping it open because they, they're logging in less than they're clicking on this leader. So it's like crazy, right? So we keep that. This is actually an example. It's printed terribly. Again, lack of red ink. What are you doing? But you can see it's like Jeff Walker, Don Miller, Dan Miller, Craig Ballantyne are on Ray's. That was actually from Ray's, the first one that we ever did in Ray's launch there. And I mean, we watch these things and we observe like who's promoting. We reach out to them and ask them to promote our products and services. And the cool thing is, like in Facebook groups, a lot of times they'll hyperlink, they'll mention the person so that they see it in their feed. And it's just like a direct link to their Facebook account, like to their Facebook page or to their, to their Facebook profile. You don't even have to do the work. You don't even have to go find them. You don't even have to find a valid, you don't have to like go to Facebook and search through 7 people with the same name. They will link to it for you. So when you do,
go ahead. I was just going to say, I think it's so obvious that you didn't even mention it, but the key to this is you already know that these people promote affiliate products.
Yeah.
Like, there's the other part of the hard work that's done for you. You don't have to go through the, do you know what affiliate promotions are?
Yeah,
Do you
exactly.
want to promote affiliate things? Do you promote affiliate things? You already know that they do. Like, they obviously do, because they're promoting whatever you're watching. And so it's like, you take away all the barriers. You take away, like you said, Matt, in the Facebook group, you take away the problem of finding them. You take away the problem of somebody saying, I have no idea what affiliates are. What are you talking about? What's affiliate marketing? Like, none of that happens. They already know. So when you say, hey, do you want to promote my product?
Yep.
They know what you're talking about. Like, you've jumped those hurdles already.
Yeah. And I mean, Robbie, that's how you and I connected actually initially was you promoted something. It was early on. You showed up on our radar because you were on the leaderboard. I think, you were like in 18th place, but here's what I knew about you in that moment. You had like Mark said, you had the basic understanding of this. Could you learn more? Could I help you? Of course. You ended up taking our course. You got better at it. And now, I mean, the proof is like when we go to
now you're doing it.
You're educating people, on affiliate marketing. I mean, it's beautiful to watch. But I knew that at the very least you had a basic understanding of this stuff. Like I didn't have to explain, rudimentary concepts. Again, you can't show up anywhere on a leaderboard. You can't even make one sale if you don't have like a basic understanding. And so when you reach out though, I mean, again, if you've got the Facebook stuff, of course, that's great because you can go right to them, but develop a relationship and reach out. Now, when you see somebody on a leaderboard, I'm going to give you a sample. This is based on an email that we've used that's been very effective. You could use this as a Facebook message as well. This, you can copy and paste it straight from this free report here. So again, go to mattmcwilliams.com/first100 and just grab your copy. It's on the number 5, or way number 5 is where that is. And it just says, I'll pull this up here. It actually just says greeting. So, hey, Joe, congrats on finishing 7th place in Fred's launch. You killed it. No rush, but I was wondering if I could chat with you for a few minutes about our launch coming up next June. I think it'd be awesome for your audience. Thanks. Super easy email. Now, here's the key. If there's an email that they send out with the final leaderboard, you reply to that email and replace the 2 with that person's, who did I say? Joe, I think. I said, hey, Joe. You replace it with Joe's email. We go through in here how to find emails, so don't worry about that. But you just replace it with Joe's email. And now it's a re-reply is what we call them, where it says RE : and then the original subject line. They'll notice that email. That email stands out. If nothing else, it's threaded with the original perhaps in Gmail. And so when they scroll down and see the leaderboard, they see this other email, and now you're congratulating them. You're saying, way to go. Well, what are you doing? It's a form of flattery. And then you're tying in that to say, hey, I know enough about you. I think that we might make good partners. We might be able to make good partners. So that sample email is in this report, but that's a great way to find affiliates, is to watch other promotions. And the cool thing about that, today's all about how to do this when you literally know no one. All right. So your competitors, you already have competition, and you can already watch other promotions. So my advice to you, in addition to grabbing this free report, is to go join every promotion you can. Join every affiliate program that you think might be like even tangential. It's always a hard word for me to say, tangential to your launch, to your product. So if you've got, if you're in the productivity niche, but your focus is on time management, go join every affiliate program about goal setting, every affiliate program about leadership, delegation, every affiliate program. What are some other niches within the productivity niche, Robbie? Even health and fitness. What are some others, Robbie? I can't even, my brain's not working.
When I look at like my resource page and things like that, it's physical tools. Like, what am I using in front of me? The types of pens I use, my planner, my water bottle.
Planners,
things that you might take for granted are things that, people are going to want, people are going to need. They're curious about the apps and tools you use. Reach out to those people as well.
Yeah. So Again, join all their programs, watch their leaderboards if they're posting them. If nothing else, watch who else. If they're not posting a leaderboard, we'll kind of talk about this in way number 3 here. Just watch who's promoting them. Just literally go. Well, that's what we'll talk about now, actually. So way number 15, again, this report has 15 places to find top affiliate partners. We're talking about 3 of them today that are specific if you literally know no one. So, for instance, the first reason is your friends now, or the first way is your friends. If you've been social distancing for your entire life, no, if you don't have any friends, no, I feel bad for you. No, actually, what I mean, if you don't have any friends that are in your niche, for instance, I'm talking to a couple tomorrow. I have friends interviewing them for our podcast. You guys will want to listen to those episodes coming up with Stu McLaren and Pat Flynn. I can reach out to them and say, hey, would you like to possibly, do something together? If you don't know anybody in your niche, that's what we're focusing on today. And so the third one that I want to share today, it's number 15 in here, is the Google. How many of you have ever heard of this website called Google? Alphabet, whatever they're called now. Have you heard of Google? Yeah, it's the world's largest search engine.
Rings a bell. Rings a bell.
Familiar, right? It's actually also our biggest source of affiliates. Now, the biggest source of our affiliates is in here. And it's meant for people who are a little bit more established, but it's become our biggest source of affiliates. I just got a text message from my mom. I got to share this. I need your help with a math problem. Call me. What is my mom? Math? And how am I supposed to help? I'm like, yes, Mom. It's 7 + 2 is 9.
That's what I was gonna say. Just respond back and be like, the answer is 14.
Yeah. So Chandler Woodward is on. Hey, bud. So anyway, right now, as we were recording this, we have virtual assistants who are using the power of Google to find affiliates. It's a simple 4-step thing, right? And this is so simple that it's like, I hesitate, guys, to share this sometimes until I ask people that are at every level. They don't have an affiliate program. They run a $10,000 affiliate program, $100,000 affiliate program, $1 million, $10 million, $100 million affiliate program. And I asked them, are you doing this? Hey, are you using the Google to find affiliates? Are you doing this? Again, I outlined all 4 steps in this free report, and they say no. I'm like, dude, it's our second. Like I've found hundreds of thousands of affiliates this way. So right now, they are going in and they are searching for our competitors. Now, not only can you become affiliates with your competitors back and forth, but you can get their affiliates as well. You search for your competitors. You find out who's promoting them. You find their contact information. Super easy. There's tons of tools. We list them in here. Super easy, right? It's not even worth teaching you how to do it because it's so ridiculously easy. And then you reach out to them. Now, it's a cold ask, but over time it's effective. And here's the thing about this. Again, they're an affiliate, so you're not going to have to explain the basics. There are some ways in here, like, some of the ways that we list in here, where the person might not have ever done affiliate marketing before. They literally may have never, they could become a great affiliate. I know people who've never done affiliate marketing that have a list of 50,000 people. And when we teach them how to become an affiliate, they sell hundreds of, products and make us hundreds of thousands of dollars, our clients, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like that happens, right? But they are harder to work with. It's worth it. But when you're starting out, you want people who've already been affiliates. They've been an affiliate, they've promoted a competitor, which means they've probably had success in your niche and they've got the audience for your product. All you have to do in that email, and when you go get this report, there's a way where you can get our email swipe files, basically to learn how to reach out to affiliates, right? But the key is to point out the difference. Point out that one difference. So you say, something along the lines of, hey, I saw you promoting so-and-so. I have a similar product, but it's different in that this. And it's up to them to decide if that difference is still good for their audience. Yeah, it's meant for beginners, or it's meant more for advanced, or it focuses on this aspect of, it focuses more on the time management aspect, to use Robbie's niche there with, with productivity. It focuses more on, this side of things. So again, all 3 of these ways to find affiliates are in here with 12 others in our free report. Working with your competitors, watching other promotions, using the Google. It's effective, guys. If they're promoting your competition, they're a very likely candidate to promote you. All of them are in here, along with 12 others ways. So make sure to go grab that, mattmcwilliams.com/first100. Now, I have a bonus that I want to share with you guys today. We said we're going to share 3 ways that you can find affiliates. This one is straight from the report. I think it's number 8 in here. And it is, there's a lot of pages in this. I love it. This is primarily for e-commerce and retail products, not really for digital courses, coaching packages, things like that. Just so you guys understand, it's primarily for like what I would term everyday items or seasonal items, things that you primarily could buy in a store. Maybe not this specific product, like I have a friend of mine that sells a product that you can buy, similar products in stores. All of his competitors are terrible. I'll just tell you what it is. It's called Baby Booster. We've talked about this before. So shout out for Hunter. I'll text Hunter after this. You owe me $100, Hunter. I don't even have an affiliate link. Dang it, Hunter. I need an affiliate link. It's just
the honor system, right?
Yeah, it's the honor system. So I'll just share this.
You tell him that you mentioned it, and he gives you $100.
If you guys are into, want prenatal protein or just a really clean protein powder that tastes amazing, is by far the best tasting protein powder ever. Check out Baby Booster. You can't buy Baby Booster in stores. Can you buy protein powders in stores? Yes, you can buy protein powders in stores. So just think of products that would typically, at least that niche would sell in stores. So greeting cards, as an example, but we worked with Shutterfly and did this really well. Nonprofits and PTAs. Now, like I said, you can buy greeting cards, you can buy calendars, you can buy, you can go have Walmart make a photo blanket, I think, but Shutterfly is just better at it. And they were one of our clients in the past, and they used to partner with literally thousands of nonprofits, thousands of PTAs to promote their cards, their calendars, like anything that was printable, basically. And what the nonprofit was able to do was say to their audience, hey, you're going to buy holiday cards anyway. You're most likely, to most people in their audience are probably going to buy, Christmas cards or whatever. Go through Shutterfly, use our link, and we get 13% for our nonprofit. We actually offered them an enhanced commission, so it was a win-win, right? These are something their audience was going to buy anyway. And we've all seen this, right? Like we have this with our soccer program. When we go to Soccer Plus, if we mention Fort Wayne Sport Club, then Soccer Plus gets, or Fort Wayne Sport Club gets like 2% of the purchase. Well, we were going there anyway, to buy $100 worth of stuff. Why would we not have $2 go to the sport club scholarship fund? It just makes sense, right? And so PTAs are the same way. Like we had probably about 1,000, 2,000 PTA groups. They recommended our products. They recommended, all the stuff that we had at Shutterfly to their list of parents using affiliate links. And so the PTA got a commission, which the thing is in the minds of the buyers, it's the same as a donation. So when recruiting from this group, from nonprofits and PTAs, think of groups that are already, they're a part, like you're already a part of. Maybe it's a nonprofit that you're in a PTA group. Think of something that might be a good fit for your product. And the cool thing is, again, in the e-commerce, the retail product space, if you make it a win-win, it'll be very profitable because almost anything will work, whether it be, protein powder or greeting cards or athletic gear, shoes, planners, anything that you can possibly think of could be a good fit, for some of you. Like I said, if you're in a digital course, like it'd be real to say, hey, PTA, if you're interested in starting an online business, go check out Jeff Walker's product launch formula. Hey, supporters of the, what was a big one for us? What was it called? They helped people with cleft palate. I can't think of what it was called. They're based out of Atlanta. Hey, people who support our Cleft Palate, Surgery Association. If you want to start an email list, I highly recommend Matt McWilliams List Launch Academy. And if you purchase it, we'll get a $400. We probably offer them like a 60% commission in our case. That just wouldn't make any sense, but it's stuff that they're already buying. So if you've got a product like that, think about that. So again, guys, you can get all of these in this report, except yours will be shiny and bright and colorful because hopefully you have red ink in your printer. Of course, you don't need to print it out.
Or I was going to say, or if it's just on your computer and you have some sort of color card on your computer, it'll also be bright and shiny and red.
Yeah.
I think those come standard for most computers, but
it does. Are most computers in color now?
I think so. Yeah.
Mine's still black screen with blue.
16-bit.
Yeah. I heard something the other day. Do you realize that the email that I sent earlier that literally was just a text-based email to my accountant saying, "Hey, let me know when you have our tax return ready." The file size of that email is larger than the computer that ran the rocket to get us to the moon. How is that even possible? All I said was, "Hey, let me know when our tax return is ready." I didn't even attach a PDF, or like a 25-minute 4K video file. And it got us to the moon. How did that even happen? So
it's true.
Anyway,
I think Matt. I think the key with all of these is that they, like you said, they work regardless of whether you know anybody or not. So there's no, I don't know anybody. Oh, I'm just starting out. Like all of these work regardless. I mean,
yep.
The last time I checked, the Google doesn't ask how many affiliates you have before you can search for something. So you're safe, but, and I think even with the nonprofit and the PTA thing, I think the key with these and every single one that you look at when you go through this report is it'll help you start thinking of other ways too. And it'll help you get creative about where you can find people for your product. It's not just these 15 ways, there's more. And this will just be a good starting point for you to be able to figure out where those people are for you. So don't just dismiss it and say, well, I don't have a physical product, so I can't use nonprofits. No, sit there and think about it for a second. Ask yourself, how could that work? Is there a way it could work? Is there a way it could work with a similar type organization? Mm-hmm. And that's really the key, and I think, like you said at the beginning, I mean, would you say this has been downloaded like 10,000 times or something?
More than 10,000 times now. And again, I mean, the thing is, guys, I guarantee you there's at least 3 ways that'll get you 25 awesome affiliates. Like, it's called your first 100 because it's meant to get your first 100 fast. This isn't like you stop getting affiliates at 100. If you keep doing what you learn in here, you'll get hundreds and even thousands. I mean, we've used there's not a single way outside of these 15 ways that I've used, and we've recruited hundreds of thousands, probably close to 500,000 by now over the years for different clients. Right. And the thing is, there's at least, I mean, I'm just like, based on who I know, there's at least, I would imagine the average person would look through this and say at least 5 of these they probably have never thought of. There's some where you're like, yeah, I thought of that. But there's like high level entrepreneurs that I guarantee you at least 3 of those they've never thought of, if not 5 or 6. For some of you, it might be 12 of them you never thought of. And so before we jump into questions, and if you guys have any questions, drop them in the comments. Just a reminder, you can grab this report, all 30-ish pages, mattmcwilliams.com/first100. Start getting your affiliates, start lining them up, start recruiting them, start at the very least, start interacting with them, start a conversation, even if they say no. And you'll hear no more than you say yes. That's the reality. You'll hear no probably 6 to 1 is roughly the best estimate. The cool thing is, of those 5, or those 6 no's, at least 1 out of those 6, over time could become a yes. But it won't become a yes a year from now or 2 years from now if you don't start the conversation now. That's if you don't start the conversation now. So grab this report and start getting some yeses, start getting some no's, and start laying the foundation for growing your business. So any questions, guys? There's a question. Mark, I was just seeing if you would pay close enough attention to the chat. If there are any questions?
No, I haven't seen any come in. there was one about the replay. And so, yeah, the replay is available as soon as this is done processing. It'll be up on Matt's page. So that's there. Other than that, I haven't seen any. So if people have them, like, please drop them in. But apparently we covered it very well. The one thing too, Matt, I want to say is, we talk about your first 100 affiliates and you can recruit thousands of affiliates with this. We had a client earlier this year that with what, Robbie, 56, I think, affiliates had a 6-figure launch. Yeah. So, I mean, it's not like you have to wait, you're not going to be able to see noticeable results until you get thousands of affiliates. If you get your first 5, 6, 7, 8 affiliates using this report, you can make a big impact in your business and the amount of people that you're able to impact with your message. So that's the really cool thing. Like it starts right away.
And that client, I mean, you said 56 affiliates, did a summit and got 104,000 leads, guys. 104,000. Is that right?
Yeah. It was. I mean, that wasn't all affiliates. There was some ads and whatnot too. But I mean,
a lot of them were. And the cool thing about that is, like, that's maybe, maybe those people, let's just say that half of them were from affiliates. Those 50,000, leads, those 50,000 subscribers, may have only turned into, say, $75,000 right now. But if they apply, what they know to apply, that they could easily turn into $25,000 to $50,000 in consistent revenue every single month from selling future products to them, promoting other people's products, affiliate, book sales, coaching things. Like, just because somebody didn't buy that product now doesn't mean that they, that they're, like Susie said here, she said, people have different reasons for not responding in a certain season, but that doesn't mean they're not interested, just not at this time, and I mean, so the great thing about it is, even though I said they only made 6 figures on their launch, they're going to make so much more long-term on that.
Right. Yep. Susie did, not exactly a question, but kind of, I think it's something you could address here real quick, Matt. She said, I don't have a product yet, unless you count the novel I published last year. So I don't know what questions to ask.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't have a product, I'm going to be honest, having affiliates is going to be kind of pointless, to be honest. So let's create a product, something in your expertise, Susie, whatever that may be. Let's get on that process. Now, here's the cool thing. Here's the cool thing about this. You can take this report and you can start applying what you are learning in it to develop those relationships. You can start making the list. So one of the biggest mistakes that I see people make is they have a product launch, for example. Let's say they have a product launch coming up, recording this on April 9th, and their launch is coming up on May 15th, and they start reaching out to affiliates now. You want to have been doing that last year. So the cool thing about it is, or they'll start making the list now. They'll start making the list of the people that they want to get. They'll start applying what we teach in here now. No, if nothing else, you can make the list. You can use this report, start the list. I know for me, I tend to kind of, Robbie and Mark know this well. Like, I don't really like the what's called the 20-mile march. I think that comes from Jim Collins I think that's in his book. It's the one that came after Good to Great. So Built to Last, Good to Great. It's whatever the next one was. I always get his books confused. And I will literally, if you ask me, I will quote from one book and attribute it to one of his other books because I love his stuff, but I can't even remember the third book. Oh gosh, it's gonna drive me nuts. Anyway, I've got it on my bookshelf. So he talks about the 20-mile march, and he talks about, like, the concept of, if you were going to walk from ocean to ocean in the United States, what would be the best way to do that? And the best way is to go about for most people, is to go about 20 miles a day. It's not to go 40 miles today and then, 40 miles tomorrow, and then you're so exhausted that you go nowhere on, like, days 3 and 4, and you still covered 80 miles, And it's the same in sales. He talks about it with, like, sales professionals. The best way is to make 40 calls a day. Don't make 80 calls today and then have to deal with, like, the follow-up tomorrow and stuff. No, you do 40 calls every day. And for me, if I'm going to do the tedious work of trying to find affiliates, so if I'm going to go to Google, now we have assistants who do most of this now, but if I were going to do some of the tedious part, I need to do it every day for 15 minutes. Put it on my calendar from 3 to 3:15. I'm going to go in, I'm going to take, one thing here each day, and I'm going to do the tedious work. And I'm just going to, for 15 minutes, and I'm going to start. So it might be just starting to make that list, but I'm going to make my list for 15 minutes a day. And the great thing now, Susie, is if you start now and you start applying what's in this report and you just do that for 15 minutes a day, you'll look up in 40 days and, have thousands of names that then you can start reaching out to. So, yeah.
Well, and like you said, you can start building those relationships. You could start promoting them if they're in a similar industry.
There you go.
So there's lots of ways that you can start now, even if you don't have that product. Because she said, I know all affiliate info is golden. So, you can start applying, you can start promoting them, building the relationships, offering to, collaborate in other ways so that you have those relationships when you start reaching out and saying, hey, now I have a program. Because I can tell you, Matt, we have a mutual friend, and you've interviewed him, and I can tell you I know for a fact, he has people literally saying, when are you going to have a product so I can promote it?
Mm-hmm.
Does his name rhyme with, does his name sound a little bit
it starts with a Dave and ends with a Gambrel.
Yeah. Dave Gambrel.
Yeah.
You remember,
do you
remember that? No.
So, building those relationships now is massive because, that guy, because he's built those relationships, when he creates a product, we'll have people lining up to be affiliates.
Including us, yeah.
Yeah, including us, exactly.
The other day,
we don't even know what it's going to be about, and we're ready to promote it.
he and I were just talking. We just did an interview for our, and you guys, you do not want to miss this. So if you want to be a better affiliate, you want to learn from Dave Gambrel. He's going to be the featured guest. I think it's coming up next week, guys. So if you join our Affiliate Insider monthly membership program, Mark and Robbie can drop the link in the chat there. It's just mattmcwilliams.com/insider, I believe. You're going to get an interview from Dave that's going to blow your mind. We actually intended it to be really specific to what's going on with COVID-19 and how he's adjusting. We went super in depth into some other stuff that was just some of the strategies he shared were mind blowing. Even I've been in this game for almost 2 decades. I was just whoa, and I told him after, I think it was after we went off the recording, I was like, he's got a brand new podcast, and he was like, well, dude, I'd love to have you on the podcast. And I was like, yeah, that's awesome. You keep serving us, you've promoted us, at least 3 of our things now. I know he's promoted No Product, No Problem twice. And I know he's promoted List Launch Challenge, into List Launch Academy once. I think he's promoted something else of ours, all this stuff that he's done to serve us. And I'm like, dude, what can I do? Just give me something to promote you, I don't even care what it is. Just give me a product that I can promote. And he's like, okay, I will, when I do. And I'm like, you're right. He is late. Dave, if you're watching this, the groundwork is laid, dude. The groundwork is laid. It's time to, what does that even mean? What do you do after you lay the groundwork?
Build.
It is. I don't even know what that means. It was one of those phrases I've used. It's like the word ubiquitous. I used it for years before I actually knew what it meant, and it meant something different. Now I know what it means, so I use it all the time. Anyway, you've done what we talk about in here. You've done a lot of the stuff. Now it's time to build that product, Dave. So, yeah. So Susie, do what Dave has done.
This is a call out to Dave Gambrel.
Yeah. So, how do you? I wish there was a way you could mention somebody in a video and it would tag them based if you say their name and enunciate it slowly or something. Anyway, Mark has gone dark. So with that, guys, we will wrap up here. But hope you enjoyed these 3 ways to find affiliates. Even if you if you're just starting out, you have no existing connections, you can use what we've taught today. Go get the report at mattmcwilliams.com/first100. Mark is texting us asking, did we just get kicked off? I think we're still live.
It says we're still live. So go to mattmcwilliams.com/first100.
Yeah. So go there. If you want to get Facebook Messenger updates so you don't miss any of our lives, we're going to be doing more of them here. Just type in FB chat as you're watching this in the comments, and we'll get you subscribed to that. Now, here's the deal. With Mark off, Robbie, I have no idea how to end this thing. Do we just both believe and hope it?
We hope. See
Yeah.
you later.
Well, we're gonna just close this and hope that we don't just end up with like another hour of host has joined the player. Mark is back as we're ending. So this is I just want to see if he doop. Hey, all right. So we're ending, Mark. We're done. We're actually done.
That was weird. All right.
So see you guys.